Good morning and welcome to another edition of Outside the Genie. We will be looking at racing from Scottsville today, the 5th of August. Before we look at the racing, let's just quickly run through a few things. Uh, for the purpose of those people who are watching this for the first time, Outside the Genie is a form analyzer. We analyze form and then we give our members and people, the punters out there, we give them outsider selections which they could put into play, whatever play they do, because every punter has got his own um, play that he likes. Of course, you can't play everything. For me, I like my pick sixes and quartets, for instance, but another person might like his PAs and so forth and so forth. So what happens is you can then utilize these outsiders, put them into what you like, and then therefore you can maybe hit the bigger payout, because playing favorites is not going to bring you money in your pocket. So if you want to, you can subscribe to our channel. Just hit the subscribe button and ring the bell, and then every time that we post a video of the daily preview of the day's racing, you will get a notification that the video has been posted. We are also looking for a sponsor for this preview every day. So if you've got something you want to advertise, please give us a call. We are also on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and on WhatsApp that you can contact us need to be. Then we just want to quickly point out what happened on Kenilworth on the 1st of August. I gave the members a 16-to-1 shot. Now, how it works is that I give 3 selections per race. The first selection is an outright winner, which I think that is the horse that will actually win the race. And then I give you 2 selections, outsider selections that can also win or place. Now, on the 1st of August, I gave Vanda Spirit as an outside, as an outright selection. So I said that this horse, I think, will win this race. So I gave the guys a winner at 16-to-1. And then one of my members did follow my advice, and he then took all to come with 3 horses, Our Precious Jewel, Waldorf Astoria, and Vanda Spirit. I did give Our Precious Jewel as the best bet of the day. He added in his own choice, Waldorf Astoria, and then he took Vanda Spirit, which I recommended, and he then got a bet of 15,000 to 100. Now, if that's not value for money to become a member, then I don't know what is value for money. You can subscribe to our analysis services every day. You will get the race by race selection, outright winner and 2 possible outsiders. You get value bets, normally more than 6-to-1, which you can play each way. We give best bets of the day. I don't give you an 8-to-10 because on an 8-to-10, you can't make money. I give decent values, like on Friday, on the 21st of July, I gave Express from the USA 13-to-2 at the time of selection, and he won by 4 lengths. Yeah, and then yesterday at Kenilworth, I couldn't really find, outright one horse. So what I did was I gave the all to come on 2 horses, and the all to come worked out at 5-to-2. Both horses won. So, 5-to-2 is still a nice bet to have as a best bet of the day. So my best bet for the day yesterday was 2 horses in all to come, and that then won. I also give suggested trifectas and quartet selections, and sometimes they can pay handsomely, as with the PA and the pick six. I gave you affordable, and my pick six normally not bigger than 150 rand. And then you can utilize my selections to add yours into and then play whatever you play. And our rates are 500 rand a month if you want to become a member to subscribe to our daily analysis service. So let's look at the racing now. Let's go to race number 1, where we start with the betting, which is a maiden plate over 1,200 meters. Yeah, please note we are now in a situation where you got just 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds who just turned 3, and you got 4 years old that has just turned 4. Now, I always want to give you the advice that if you've got the average 4-year-old running against the average 3-year-old, I would think 7 to 8 times out of 10, the 4-year-old will win the race. But if you have a 3-year-old who's got good, above average ability, then that will normally be able to beat a older horse, a 4-year-old. So when you analyze your form, you need to determine whether you think that this horse is going to be above average, the 3-year-old, or not. So let's have a look at race number at the betting here. 12 to 10 times New Roman, Palace Wind 5 to 1, Bezos 6 to 1. Tonight's Fight Night 6 to 1, 8 to 1, Q Wing It 12 to 1, Master Dancer 50 to 1, and 20 to 1, and better the rest. Now, this is a difficult, today at Scottsville, I do want to warn you, today is going to be a difficult day. There's large fields. There's a lot of horses that are running for the first time. We've got the first 6 races are all maiden plates, and then we got 3 handicaps at the end of the day. Races 7, 8, and 9 are handicaps. So let's look at this first race. And what also makes it more difficult in KwaZulu-Natal is that they've got the horses not numbered according to, from top to bottom, according to their ability and their merit rating, but on draw. And that makes it quite difficult sometimes to access the race. So here we have number 1, Master Dancer. Master Dancer has run over various distances, but last time out it came back to 1,200 meters, and it ran a forward race, finishing 23.2, third fastest 400 at Scottsville over this distance. And today it gets -4. Now this is very significant in terms of this 4-year-old running against 3-year-olds, because if you look at here, you'll see here's a thing that says wait for age. Now, if you a 3-year-old is supposed to carry 7 kilograms less than a 4-year-old, so, but in this race, the 3-year-olds only get the 3-year-olds carries 58 kilograms, so they only get 2 kilograms, so they 5 kilograms under sufferance already on the weight for age scale. Now, if you add that 4 kilograms, this means that any 2-year-old running against number 1 Master Dancer is 9 kilograms under sufferance. Now, believe to me, this time of the year, it is significant. So Master Dancer with the -4, I would definitely say that is not without a prayer in this race. And this horse is currently at 15 to 1. Do not leave out this horse in any calculations. Dennis Dreyer is a shrewd trainer, and that's for the reason he's putting on the -4 on this horse. And on Scottsville, draw 1 is a plum draw. I think this number 1 is a serious runner in this race. Then we have a few horses that's first timers, which we don't know the form of. Then I'm going to go to number 4, Bezos. Now, to me, this horse is well bred. And the fact that Warren Kennedy is riding this horse from draw 4, I've just got a feeling that this horse might have good ability. And therefore, I do see this horse as a serious runner today. Then we move down to number 7. Number 7 is tonight's Fight Night. Again, Dennis Dreyer is putting on Sean Veal. So Sean Veal is riding the stable, so he must be the stable elect. So here you have number 7. So maybe taking exacta 1 and 7 might not be a bad idea, or take exacta box 147. This horse has run over 1,200 meters before on the poly, but now and Scottsville, where it didn't run too bad. If you look here at fastest 400 to finish twice in a row there, and then came back after a rest and maybe needed the run. So tonight's the Fight Night, also in with a serious chance. So do be aware, maybe take the exacta, the Dennis Dreyer exacta 1 and 7 in the first race. It might pay off. Then there's Wing It. Has run 2 good races and then came back after the race. After the race, maybe needed that run. Now going over 1,200 meters, but Mr. Jacobson has, to me, appears to get a new lease of life, and he's riding well. So Wing It can be involved in the finish when the photos are taken. Yeah, then we have Mr. Martinez Prinsloo here from the ex-Kimberley training. He's now got Jolly Boy. Muzi Yeni riding, draw 10. I don't show much, but might improve after the race, but not too sure what the situation is on that horse. And then here we have number 14 times New Roman, drawn 14. It's a son of Futura, which is doing really well. He will, with his first season's springs, getting -1.5. And Captain ran third 5 links behind Captain Fontaine over Scottsville 1,000 meters. Stayed on well 23.7. That was after the rest. So also in with a chance. So that brings the concluders race 1. Let's move to race 2, where it's another maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,000 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is number 7, Lavu, 26-10. Cantata Choir 3-1. Deep Fort 4-1. Twice as Fast 8-1. Channel Allure 10-1. Slicaria 12-1. 16-1. Whispering Green 20-1, and longer the rest. So let's have a look here. There's also a few first timers in this race. As I said, it's difficult to judge those horses. So I want to move down to, here's number 7, Lavu. It's a give me the green light, and this horse has had one run where it didn't run too bad, 24.0, 400 to finish, good pace effort. Yeah, we'll have to repeat that run. Then we have number 8, Whispering Green. This horse ran a 22.3 last, fastest 400 to finish. Slow, no show. I don't think this is a no show. I do think this Give Me the Green Light filly is going to like the 1,200 meters she's been running on. And as we have here with this horse, number 7, Lavu, it's also a Give Me the Green Light filly, maybe a good exacta to take. Then we move down, number 10, Cantata Choir has run some few good races, but now first time out on the, has had one run on the turf. There was a Greyville, never showed. Now back to the Scottsville turf. We'll have to see if the horse can handle the turf. Yeah, did run well. The first run after the race, needs to repeat. Number 11, Channel Allure, is a hard-knocking horse, 5 years already, and trying its best to win a race. Always goes to the front and then gets run out of it. Maybe today it can stay on over the 1,200 meters, has had a few places over the course and distance. Then we move to number 13, Twice as Fast. This is a twice over out of a sale from Seattle May. This horse had a fair trial back in December, and then came out after the race, and it ran a nice race. But what caught my attention was this 22.2 400 to finish on Scottsville over 1,000 meters. I think the 1,200, it's 1,000 meters again, and I think that that this will definitely suit this horse. He'll strip fitter, and I'm looking for this number 13, Twice as Fast, to run a really good race in this field. So that then brings us to the end of race number 2. So let's move on to race number 3, where we have a maiden plate over 1,500 meters. Let's look at the betting quickly. Here's the betting. It's number Ferrari Ice 12-10, Shave Out 7-2, Radimis 5-1, Arctic Tune 10-1, Instinctive Tower 14-1, Uplifted 14-1, Till Meath 14-1, and 53 and longer the rest. So what do we do in race number 3? Let's have a look at the form here. This Instinctive Power, drawn 1, has had a few decent races over 1,400 and 1,600 meters. Had one run on Scottsville, but didn't fare too well. But now a third run after the rest, and I do think Instinctive Power can be a horse that can be involved in the finish. Then we have a look at some other individuals in this race. Uplifted has had 2 runs. Didn't fare too well, ran midfield, but one gets the impression from draw 3 today that this Magog colt by Jetmaster May can have a say in the finish, because as last time it didn't fare too well. It fared well. It ran 23.9 400 to finish, so it has been running on. Definitely a horse to maybe include into your calculations. Here we have a first timer, Warren Kennedy, Noble Tune. When Noble Tune came with a very big reputation to South Africa, but I must say, I think this horse was a little bit disappointing. Has thrown a few good winners, but overall, Noble Tune I don't think is living up to expectations. But here we have a gelded son of Noble Tune out of Negev. I do remember Negev has won quite a few races. So, and it's got Warren Kennedy on board. So it might be a horse that you want to include into your play. Mountain of Gold, there and thereabouts, need to improve. Here we have the favorites, Ferrari Ice, did debut on the Poly, ran on very well, 24.5, which is not that fast, but yeah, was the fastest 400 finish in that field after losing 2 lengths and had a problem on the turn. Now going down the 1500 meters, drawn 6. Yeah, definitely not without a chance. Then we move on to number 7, Freezing Pass. Has run a few places in Port Elizabeth, and then now find itself in KwaZulu-Natal, where the fields are a little bit stronger. Not for me today. Right, so that is then I also want to look at number 9, Tilmeeve. Number 9, Tilmeeve, after race, has shown a little bit of improvement. Had a nice race on gravel behind Thomas Henry, but last time out fluffed his lines again. Gordon riding it, but do include into your play. And here we have number 10, Shove Out, and has had one run. Did finish fastest 400 to fasted 400 to finish, but in 25 to 25.7, which is not that good, but was slow, bump shifted. I think Anton Marcus is going to go close on this horse. His horse will definitely like the longer distance. I think Marcus is now on a losing streak of about 25 or 26 horses rides, and he will be hungry to get on the board early in the new season. So I do believe that number 10, Shove Out, will has a big chance in this field. Please note 11, Candyman is a scratching. Otherwise, that would have been my selection. But yeah, unfortunately, the horse is scratched. Number 13, Randames, has also have a nice improvement after the rest. Ran third behind Joint Effort, hanging in 400. And I expect this horse to also run a forward race today. So that brings us to the end of race number 3. Let's move to race number 4, where we have another maiden plate over 1500 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here we have Fade to Black, 17 to 10. Please note that the favorites for race 3 and 4 are both the Conor Meyer stable. So you might want to maybe try your luck and take a all to come of the Conor Meyer stable. 17 to 10, 3 to 1 Command Control, 13 to 2 Walnut, Cossack Warrior 13 to 2, Captain Z 9 to 1, Command Respect 16 to 1, Silver Fox Dog 20 to 1, Declaration of War 20, Bet and whatever, number 13, 20 to 1 and longer the rest. Now, just for also for interest, if you're a guy who likes to play your doubles, you also might want to take a Humby double with the horse in race number 2, all to come this horse in race number 4. But let's look at the form first. Here we have a few first-timers. A Lady Straight gelding Silver Fox Dog. Yeah, this Lady Straight went back to breeding, and it looks like the second time around he is going to have be a little bit more success than the first time out around. Walnut, Kennedy did run in March. It won a barrier trial, then came after the rest and ran an okay race over 1800 meters. Now back over a little bit shorter. Is by King Barnes out of a Captain Alme. I believe King Barnes is deceased, but because I was thinking that he is going to have a great future because some of his runners really run well, but will not without a chance. It's win command respect. Has had a few places, but battling to win a race. Here we have Captain Z coming from Cape Town and Captain L by Eridor Me. That's always good breeding. As you can see, they paid R1 million for this horse, so it couldn't be a donkey. So yeah, and I've seen sometimes that these horses came from Cape Town and then they run well here in KwaZulu-Natal. So maybe a horse that you want to include into your play. Unsignable Lad is a scratching. Then we get Declaration of War. Has run a few places, getting the -2. Kum Naidu, you can never discard him because he wins when you expect the lead, so do include into your play. Here we have number 10, Command Control. Has run one run after the rest, run really well behind Forest Jump. And he did drop his crop. And I do think that Command Control will definitely run a forward race in this field over 1,500 meters. And it is a 4-year-old. Gilmore Girl, I remember Gilmore Girl. She won, I think, 4 or 5 or 6 races. Was really a filly that really ran well. Then we have Cossack Warrior, who after the rest, the second run after the race, did improve over the Greyville turf and has had one run on the turf. So also the form behind Thomas Henry, we'll have to watch that form because it keeps popping up from draw 11. Might find it difficult. As was number 12, Fade the Black, who is who is the favorite. Also, What the Winter. Drawn 12 has run a few places, but has also disappointed at sometimes. So definitely not a certainty, but did run well over the Greyville last time and has had a few places at Scottsville. So definitely a horse that is in with a chance. But you know, it's a 4-year-old, has already had 8 races. I don't think it can improve much, but it's not without a. So I just want to figure this out. Better than the rest. I couldn't figure out this name. Now I figured out better than the rest. Well, I hope he lives up to his name. Had a nice introduction at over 1,200 meters, but now going over a little further, drawn 13, and but getting the -2.5. So also in with maybe a small chance. So that is then concludes race number 4. Let's move on to race number 5. Race number 5, another we have another maiden plate over 1,500 meters for fillies and mares. Let's have a look at the betting. Race 5. Number 7, Elusive Current 17-10. Dancing Sword 4-1. Blue Winter 9-2. Wintertime 8-1. Capriccio 12-1, 12-1, Malo 14-1, and longer the rest. So let's have a look at the selections in this race number 5. Here we have number 1, Wiffler's Joy, already a 5-year-old mare, but only had 6 runs. So maybe she might have a bit of problem. I don't know, maybe she had some injuries or something. Did run better last time out after the race, 5 lengths behind Annika the Angel. Nice outsider each way bet that you can include into your selections. Capriccio has run a few places, there and thereabouts, did run a forward race over the 1750 behind Mission Beach. So definitely with Sean Weir on board, drawn 12, can be included in your play. Dancing Sword is also from Cape Town, has had a nice introduction on the poly, over 1,600 meters, running well, 3.5 lengths behind Hot Money, but very significant. Anton Marcus on board, drawn 3. I do believe Anton Marcus will have 1 or 2 winners today. I just don't know which ones. Yeah, because that's always the problem. But Free Dancing Sword is currently what she's betting on. Dancing Sword 4-1, nice odds. Maybe you would like to have a small punt on that. Number 4, Blue Winter, has had a few prices, also from the Sean Humby stable. Yeah, I must say he's a very shrewd trainer, but also already a 6-year-old mare, but has also only had five runs last time out. Ran well behind Joyful Winter, so definitely in with a little bit of a chance. Then we have, let's move down to um, Elusive Current. Here's the favorite. Warren Kennedy, drawn 7, did run well. The, um, it made a debut after, after the lockdown, and ran not a bad race, 3.3. And then last time ran behind Kavian Skara. Kavian Skara was placed in some future races over the July weekend. Both times you ran fastest 400 to finish, and definitely a horse that you cannot leave out of any of your calculations. Then we have number 9, Winter Time. Here we have a 4-year-old, again the same situation, a 4-year-old running under a -4 from the apprentice, and did run a very good race over the poly, but I'm sure won't have a problem running on the turf, as she's also by Visionaire, as is Elusive Torrent also Elusive Fort. But then again, as we discussed before, number 10 has got a huge weight advantage in terms of weight for age on number 7, the favorite. So it might be nice to maybe take the exacta on the 2 Visionaire fillies. But it's drawn 9, but it's not that bad. It's not like it's the end of the world. Yeah, just some interesting information. Here's American Express. Now, I don't know if you know, but American Express is now quite a hit in PE. So this makes this form a little bit stronger here, because American Express has won, I think, 2 small futures in Fairview. Yeah, we all know it's Fairview, but still the horse has got ability. Right, so definitely in winter time, and I think this horse is going to run a huge race. He did had a stable change since his previous race, so he debuted the last time he debuted for Mr. Odendaal. And yeah, I do believe in number 9, Winter Time, to run a huge race in this race. So that is in race 5. Let's move on to race 6. In race 6, we have another maiden plate, Felicia Mares over 1950. Let's have a look at the betting. Race 6, number 6, Lady of Latude. Also Marcus riding 18-10 to the max, 3-1, 6-1 Wichita, Faithful Mistress, Excessive Grace 14-1. I'm not going to dwell long on this race. I do think that number one, Lady Lutia has got a very good chance in this race. It's drawn well. Anton Marcus riding. It's been knocking on the door, and I think today might be his day. I think his biggest danger will come from number 10, which is to the max. Another Cannemeyer inmate, drawn 10, has also been running well, and definitely not without a shout. So that is race 6. So let's move on to race number 7. Race number 7, the betting is as follows. Number 7, Before Noon, 18-10. Bayview Express, 5-2. Wildlife Safari, 5-1. Malin from Berlin, 7-1. Irish Wonder Girl, 7-1, 10-1, and better the rest. So if we have a look at race number 7, this is over 2,400 meters. It is a merit rated 87 handicap, Class B, 84 average merit rating. So let's have a look here at race number 7. Here we have number 2, Irish Wonder Girl. Has been running well. Has not run over this distance, but I'm sure if you look at the breeding, that it shouldn't be a problem. Warren Kennedy riding did ran well last time over a shorter distance, over the 2,000 meters, and definitely in with a shout. And we have Baby Express, has won 2 races in a row, Anton Marcus again. Certainly with not without this a chance, but I do think they are one or two stronger in this race today. Here we have Wild Time Safari that ran 3.5 lengths in a future last time on gravel over 3,000. One doesn't know if this race comes too soon after that. I'm not sure, but it is getting -3, so it's carrying 53 kilograms because of the printers. Then I want to move down to number 7, which is Before Noon. Before Noon on this race, on this course and distance. Sorry about that. I just apologize. This course and distance, 2 races, two wins. Last time out was beaten on the line by Dynasty Blossom, and again, I'm not sure whether it comes too soon or not, but I'm sure Sungtari knows what he's doing, and I'm looking forward to this horse running a forward race and winning this race again. Then there are other horses with chances. Favor, Dean Kannemeyer stable again. Bullet won a race here, a maiden, but last time out disappointed behind Dance Class, so maybe not today. Then we move down to race number 8. And race number 8, it's a real minefield. A lot of these horses has one run against each other, but let's have a look at the betting first, where the betting is as follows. The follows is number 2, Candy Galore 7-2, Wizard of Odds 4-1, Queen of Alamo 11-2, Coyote Girl 15-2, 17-2, 11-1, Impressive Duchess 12-1, and longer the rest. A very open race, and a lot of these horses has run against each other, but I did do some homework, and on weights turnaround and taking form and everything in account, number 4, Queen of Alamo, if you work out all that they've run against each other, Candy Galore and Wizard of Odds, then she's the best off in the weight. So therefore, Queen of Alamo, my first selection. Then, as I said, there's many horses with chances. I can't discuss all the horses, but let's touch on 1 or 2 of them. Another horse that I want to look at is number 11, Coyote Girl, has been running well, and definitely a horse with a chance, carrying 55, drawn 11, and I would think that this horse is definitely in with a shout in this race. Another horse that we want to look at is number 8, Wizard of Oz. He has won 2 nice races in a row, then got beaten by Candy Galore and Mirage, and then now came back after the rest and run a decent race, 3.4, but now getting the -4, definitely in with a shout in this race. And also Her Royal Majesty has won a first race by 5 lengths. Hasn't run a lot of the scores, but last time out she was beaten by Yars after she beat Yars before. And I would be very careful for this horse. Definitely include this in your pick 6. I do think Her Royal Majesty do have a chance and might be a nice outsider. And then there's just one more horse that I want to look at. And that's number 7, Quartet. Now, Quartet is a Vaal by Windrush Man that gives this horse a lot of speed. This horse went to Kenilworth, debut in Kenilworth. Sean Dennis Dreyer has now got her back, run some decent races in Kenilworth, and now back after the breakdown. And definitely a horse that you need to put in your play. You cannot discard, because I do think that this horse might have some ability. And now let's move on to race number 9, which is race number 9 is also a minefield. It's a Phyllis Mare 76 over 1,200 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Miss Khalifa 33-10, Bella Berarina 4-1, Retail Therapy 8-1, 8-1 Color of Light 10-1, Royal View 10-1, Someone Exciting 12-1, Academy Gold 12-1, Brunilda, and 14-1, and longer the race. Also a race, a lot of horses has got chances. Miss Khalifa is the favorite, but let's have a look at a few other horses here. I want to go down to number 14, yeah. Number 14 is Bella Ballerina. Now, if you see that, if you have a look, this horse, the ability rating of the races in this horse is 73. Here we have Bella Ballerina, drawn 14, Anton Marcus on board, ran in an 86 last time, finishing 1.1 behind Silent Crusade. This horse at that in that race, it was a small feature. She was out at the weights, and to me today, one of the better bets on the card. She does love the distance. She has run and over this distance before here, and um, I do believe that this horse might be the horse to beat in this field, Bella Ballerina. Um, then let's have a look at one or two other horses quickly. Um, Soiree is also a horse that you might want to include. It's a Cape Town Noir. Only had a few runs by True Lily. True Lily also won a few races. This horse has only run at Scottsville, hasn't run too bad, did run decent races after the rest, and definitely a horse that you want to include into your play. Here we have Miss Khalifa. Miss Khalifa has got a bit of a tendency to be slow away, and that has cost her a few races in the past. So you have to look out for that. She always comes from behind. Very seldom wins from the front, but she's always fastest 400 to finish or second fastest 400 to finish. She'll be running on the best in this race. So definitely not without a chance. But I do think that this distance might be a little bit short for her, although yeah, she has won over 1,200 meters before. But lately, it seems to me that she's looking for a little bit longer distances. So definitely, she's got a chance, but not a certainty that I would put my house on. So let's move to race number 5. Retail Therapy has also run some nice races. Won its maiden, but I think this horse can still improve a little bit. So definitely a horse to include into your play. So that brings us into the end of our preview for the day at Scottsville. I hope you have a great day and make a lot of money. And as I always say, break a leg.